RTI. What is it and how does it work? RTI is a part of the MTSS, better known as the Multiple Tiered Support System. This is a system in which we cater towards the whole child. It includes their academic, behavior, as well as their social emotional needs. Children come to us at various levels, and many of them need extra help to reach their goals. Let's look at the RTI pyramid. It's a pyramid with 3 tiers. All students start at Tier 1 with whole group instruction. 80% of your students generally will master the skill at Tier 1. That leaves 20% of the students who still need extra support to master the skill. So those students are placed on Tier 2. Tier 2, you will provide small group instruction. And with that small group instruction, roughly 15% of the students will then be able to master the skill. Then they can move back down to Tier 1. But for those students who cannot master the skill even with their small group and their interventions, they are moved to Tier 3. Tier 3, roughly 5% of students will need more support and more interventions and even smaller groups to master the skill. So remember this, the higher the tier, the higher the intensity of support that is needed for the student. Look at the picture on the left. The goal is for all students to see the baseball game. Student number 1 needs no additional supports in place. Student number 2 needs additional support. He has chosen to stand on a box. The box represents an intervention. Now he can see the game. Student number 3 needs even more support. He has to stand on 2 boxes, or he might have to have more intense interventions, but now he too can see the game. With the proper interventions in place, all students are able to see the baseball game. They have met their goal. There is a distinct difference between interventions, modifications, and accommodations. A modification means to modify or change based on ability. For example, students are all reading Macbeth. Students on the higher end can read directly from the textbook. Students with the lower end reading ability, they are still reading Macbeth, but they may use a different text version that has reading aids and deeper explanations. An accommodation also means that you're changing, but you're changing based on physical ability. For example, students with vision impairments may need large text. Students with hearing impairments may need headphones. However, an intervention, which is what we're doing for RTI, an intervention is a teaching strategy that is directly targeted to student achievement gaps. Only the interventions inside of the DeKalb County School District Intervention Bank can be used for RTI students. A sample intervention could be teaching the same process for 2-step equations, but for students on the RTI tier, giving them a mnemonic device or another way to process the information. For the math RTI interventions, one intervention that we're pushing is mnemonic devices. You remember mnemonic devices. Remember PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? Well, those are the type of things that we're looking for. There's another one out right now called Don't Call Me After Midnight, but that's a mnemonic device that students can use to learn how to solve equations. Teachers can create their own mnemonic devices, or they can use the samples provided from the intervention bank. In addition to mnemonic devices, for reading the RTI intervention, we're using instructional match. Instructional match means, in addition to providing the student opportunities to learn from grade level text, you will also present them text that is delivered directly to their lexile measurement. For example, if a student is reading on a 590 lexile, but he is sitting in the 11th grade, he still will receive text at the 11th grade level, But for intervention delivery, the teacher will work with the student receiving information on a 590 Lexile measurement to help grow the child, hopefully that he can make some gains when it comes to reading comprehension. Do you have a student that is struggling and is in need of academic support? Please send them to see me, Ms. Fraser Worthy, your RTI SST chair here at Cedar Grove High School, where we are remaining true to the blue in all that we say and do.